Okay, yesterday class we completed Agile Scrum model. Okay, so today we have to complete V model and waterfall model and testing techniques. So let's see what is waterfall model and V model. So first we will go through the V model. V model means, okay, let me open a diagram. Huh? Okay. So yesterday we discussed about Agile Scrum model. So today we are going to discuss about V model and waterfall model. So any of the test methodology that will be followed in your projects. Okay. So depends on your project. People might follow projects. Client people will follow either one of the approach. Most of the cases, 90% people are following Agile Scrum model. Okay. So let's understand what is V model and what is waterfall model. That is what we are going to discuss. So V model in software testing. So just I'm typing that point. Going to images. See, this is called V model. Requirements, design, architecture design, module design, coding. So this is not properly aligned. One second. Requirements analysis phase, system design and architecture design, module design, coding, unit testing, integration testing, system testing, acceptance testing. So this is called a V model. Okay. So on the left hand side, whatever activities that we are doing, all these activities, we can call it as a verification activities. And the right hand side, whatever you are seeing, those we can call it as a validation activities. That's why V model means verification and validation. Okay. So one second. Yeah, this is the correct one. So user requirements, software requirement specification, and high level design and detailed design and coding, unit testing. So like that, the view model has been designed. Okay. So before receiving the build, whatever activities that you are performing, we are calling as verification activities. After receiving the build, whatever activities that we are performing, so we are calling validation. So actual testing will be started once you receive the coding. Once the coding part has been completed, you will start all these testings: unit testing, integration testing, system testing, acceptance testing. And before that, you are writing a test scenarios and test cases. The system should supposed to work like this, and you are identified all the list of scenarios, and you are preparing, and all whatever test scenarios and test cases you have written, you are giving test scenario walkthrough sessions, and there will be some peer reviews will be happen. So whatever test scenarios and test cases that you have written, it will be reviewed by your team members or team lead. So to ensure that you are following all the functional flows or not, and whether you are writing all the correct scenario or not. So such kind of reviews will be happened within the team. So here user requirements, software. So these are the phases. So user requirements means you are getting FRD and BRD documents. Okay. And software requirement specification. So what is exactly the acceptance criteria expecting from the system? So it contains all the bullet points, how the system it has to supposed to work. So that documentation it contains. So we will go through these user stories and FRD and BRD documents, and we will ensure the system testing has been properly covering or not. So high level design, high level functional flows, how the modules are connecting with each other. Suppose you are placing an Amazon application and how the billing system it is connecting. And in case of transaction success, how the system is responding. In case of transaction failure, how the system is responding. And placing an order in the Amazon itself, it is an independent module. Whenever you are buying, it is connecting to third party application. So that means how the integration part it is working. So how the high level functional flow diagrams it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be designed and it has to work. So detailed design documents, how the detailed code it has to develop, it will describe. And coding means, so after detailed design, the coding phase will be started. Simply verification means, are we building the product right direction or not? Okay. Are we building the product right direction? Validation ensures, are we building right product or not? So చిన్న slight difference ఉంది. అంటే ఇక్కడ ప్రోడక్ట్ డెవలప్ చేయబోయే ముందు ద రైట్ డైరెక్షన్ ఫాలో అవుతున్నామా లేదా? సో దట్ వీఆర్ కవరింగ్. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద థింగ్స్, దీస్ ఆర్ ద థింగ్స్, దీస్ ఆర్ ద థింగ్స్ ఇట్స్ సపోజ్ టు బి అని మనం డిఫైన్ చేస్తున్నాం. దట్స్ వై వెరిఫికేషన్ డెఫినేషన్ ఏంటంటే, ఆర్ వి బిల్డింగ్ ద ప్రోడక్ట్ ఇన్ రైట్ డైరెక్షన్ ఆర్ నాట్? ఆర్ వి validation ensures, okay, are we building right product develop అయిందా లేదా అని చూడటం అనమాట. సో దట్స్ ఇట్. Verification activities includes peer reviews, means the test scenarios and test cases and everything, whatever work you are performing before receiving the build. So whatever activities that you are doing, everything it will be cross checked by your team members. Okay, test scenarios, test cases, and they also need to confirm, yeah, he has written correctly. So peer reviews. External reviews means, once you write the test scenarios and test cases, and once you completed your test scenario walkthroughs to BA and design team, they have to certify. So please find the attached list of test scenarios. We are going to write detailed test cases. Could you please approve this? I will send a mail to BA and design team, and the BA he will respond, yeah, I have reviewed all the test scenarios and it is covering all the test cases, I am approving from my end. So like that the BA will confirm. So that is called external review. And walkthroughs, user story walkthrough sessions, it will be conducted by the product masters. Okay, and test scenario walkthroughs will be conducted by the test lead, what you are supposed to going to test. So such kind of walkthroughs it can help, and it will give the confidence, okay, on the build, how the product can be developed in a right direction. Okay, and will comes. So all these and inspection means, without informing, the team lead can suddenly come and check your work. Okay, without notifying, without giving any notice. So what is the task you are doing, can you please show me? So such kind of inspections also will give the product that is going to be developed in right direction or not. So all these will comes under verification activities. Verification ensures that the product is being built according to the requirements and design specification. So one more definition you can say like this also. Verification ensures simply the product is being built according to the requirements, and so ఈ విధంగా డెవలప్ అవ్వాలి అని ఎన్షూర్ చేసేది ఏంటంటే వెరిఫికేషన్ అన్నమాట. Simply verification activities includes reviewing the test plans, requirement specification, design specification, test planning, test cases, test scenarios are developing correctly or not, and these activities will be performed prior to receiving the build in test environment to check the build is developing right direction or not. Got the point? So that's. And validation means, are we building the right product? Validations means that actual testing of the product developed as per the user needs and customer acceptance criteria met or not. So in every test case, we are checking expected result or actual result is matching or not. So the actual testing that we are performing once we are receiving the bill. So we are performing smoke testing, sanity testing, regression testing, progression testing. All these comes under validation activities. Simply to check the test is expected and actual result same or not in the build. So once the build has been delivered, you are ensuring that product developed in right direction. The product has been built correct or not. Okay. The product, it has to be supposed to be developed like this. That is called verification. Validation activities will be performed once we receive the build in the test environment, and we will do different types of testing: smoke, sanity, progression, SIT, FAT, and UAT testing. UAT testing means client side team. Okay, ICICI Bank is there. So the client side team, they will test all the requirements has been correctly working fine. SIT and FAT testing means our testing team. So like Cognient team, Capgemini team. So they will ensure all the testing has been correctly tested or not. All these types of testings will be performed that the build is developed as per the user needs and client expectation met or not. Okay. ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసరికి verification ensures that the product is being built according to the requirements and design specification. So this side we are talking completely, it has to be developed as per the requirement and design. So here we are proving that is working fine as per the user needs and client expectation met or not. Okay, so that indicates validation. So coming to the diagram, so during user requirements, so all the user requirements, is it satisfying acceptance testing or not? So client side team has been accepted or not, and all the testing has been properly completed or not. Acceptance. Software requirement specification, so the complete system is working fine or not. So after integrating the modules, so the third party billing payments and everything is properly happening or not in terms of system testing. Okay. High level design. So integration testing. So when you are so first here it is unit testing. So we can call it as a module testing. So testing of independent component. So you go, suppose if you take Amazon application, placing an order, modifying an order, delete an order. So this is an independent module testing. Okay, placing an order and buying, and whenever you are buying, what is happening? So the third party, another module is, it is integrating. It is connecting with billing payments. So that functionality, after integrating the functionality, the end functionality is correctly working fine or not. So the high level design, is it matching or not? So it has to align with the integration testing. And detailed design. So indeed, independent components, how it is working. After integrating, how it is working. In system testing, we will check how the system is responding. So the performance, if the application is connecting in terms of functional and in terms of performance, how system is connecting, we will test it. Coding means once the coding has been developed, all these activities will be performed. So this is called V model. Okay. In what is the difference between V model and Agile model? And when should I go with V model and when should I go with Agile model? That is the point. So Agile model, it is suitable for short-term releases. Whenever it is 1 month or 2 months and the product is being developed in an incremental fashion, then Agile model is more suitable. And most of the clients are preferring this approach only. But V model, when the requirements are freezed and there is no changes at all, and the releases can be and the we can deliver the release, have a huge span of time. So like after 4 months, after 5 months, or after 6 months, or between 3 to 6 months. Okay. So then in V, if the project is following V model means, so the releases will be there every 3 months or every 4 months or 6 months, like that. So there is no change. Once requirement has been listed out, that means the client has no chance to change that point. So requirements are freezed. Okay. And it is suitable for long-term releases. Okay. Not suitable for short-term releases. And there won't be any frequent requirement and design changes. Okay. If it is any frequent requirement, kind of things are required, lot of approvals required from BA team, design team, development team, Scrum Master. So everyone. Okay. There is no Scrum process in V model. Scrum process means daily there will be a stand-up call meetings in Scrum model, Agile Scrum model. But here you won't like that. Okay. So might be they will call you daily one time meeting. Okay. We won't call it as a Scrum call. Only that call, stand-up call, we can call Scrum call. It will be followed in Agile only. The project manager, he can set up a meeting and he can take the updates only one time. But whereas in Agile models, daily you will have to be involved in various ceremonies, sprint planning meetings, sprint review meetings. Once after completion of sprint, you have to join defect triage calls. So all these meetings will be there in Agile. But in V model, there is not required much interaction because everything is freezed and everything is stable. Okay. So the activities will be carried along with the verification activities. We can ensure all the acceptance criteria met or not. During software requirement specification, we will ensure all the system testing criteria met or not. And during high level design, so while writing your test scenarios and test cases, you can ensure all the integration test case functional flows are covered or not. And during detailed design, you can ensure all the independent modules are correctly working or not. So each and every criteria you are ensuring prior to receiving of the build. Okay, that's why this model we can call it as a V model. Clear to everyone? So that's it. Anyway, people are not asking much about that one, but if they will ask you, so V model is whenever the requirements are fixed and whenever the project is required for long-term releases and when there is no frequent requirement changes. So in such cases, we can go with V model. Okay. And the verification and validation activities can be performed during user requirement phase. While writing while going through the requirements, we can ensure all the acceptance testing criteria met or not. So in such a way, we need to identify the requirements. We need to understand the requirements and we need to list out the test scenarios. And during system testing criteria met or not. So we need to list out all the bullet points, what's supposed to be tested. And integration testing met or not. So you need to supposed to be tested all the integration functional flows test cases has been covered or not. Okay. So for each and every activity, the parallel activity can be ensures in V model. Okay. In V model and Agile model, the testing will be started from the requirement phase itself. Okay. It's not like that after coding because all the activities we are performing from the starting point onwards. Okay. Right. That's it on the V model. And coming to waterfall model. So this process, we can call it as a SDLC, software development life cycle. Okay. So in some projects, people will, so this is, sir, you told this is a testing methodology, it's a test process, but I'm talking about SDLC here. Okay. Let's understand slight difference here. So for any of the project, it has to follow SDLC process. Requirement, design, coding, and testing phases will be there. But some projects, they will follow waterfall model. Nowadays, no projects are not following waterfall model. Very rarely. Okay, let's understand waterfall model. So in waterfall model, we can also call it as a step-by-step approach. What we can call step-by-step approach. So until one phase is completed, the next phase, it cannot be started. Okay. So in waterfall model, until one phase is completed, the next phase cannot be started. Once one phase is completed, they will deliver those in outputs and they will give it hand over back to next step. So that's why we can call it as a step-by-step approach. Once the requirement phase is completed, they will give BRD and FRD documents. And once the design team is completed, they will prepare design documents, technical design documents and low-level design documents. And they will give the documents hand over to development team. And based on that BRD and FRD documents, based on HLD and LLD documents, the development team, they will develop the code. So there is no interaction between the teams. Okay. There is no interaction between the teams, because once their phase is completed, their task is completed. That's it. So that's why until requirement phase, once requirement phase completed, next phase will be started. Once design phase is completed, next phase will be started. So there is no proper communication, and there is no connectivity between the teams. Everyone has to depend on the complete documentation part, and they have to purely rely on the documentation only. Okay. Once coding development team has completed their work, and immediately the testing work can be started. So in the waterfall model itself, the testing cannot be started in the requirement phase. Whereas in V model and Agile model, the testing can be started at the beginning of requirement phase. But in waterfall model, the testing can be started once after completion of coding only. So that means you are aware about the system. Once might be you will get the slight time difference between the development time. Okay, so that means you are getting all the functional stuff and everything at the end of the time. Okay, so if you get any chance to, if you want to ask any kind of inputs on the regarding queries or BRD and FRD documents, this process will take a lot of time. Might be because the BA and design team, they will work on another projects, or sometimes they have to specially align to explain the things to you. So lot of communication gaps can be happened, and we are coming to know at the end of the thing. But if you are got involved in the from the scratch also, then you will get complete knowledge. But at the end of the software, once it is developed, you will come to know, and you identified there are some mistakes happened in the requirements collection. The requirements itself, it is wrong. So that means all the efforts, design team, coding team, whatever efforts they spend, everything goes wrong. Okay, the requirement is incorrectly captured, the design is incorrectly captured. Okay, it will go into coding and it will be affected into testing. So we are identifying the issues, okay, at the time of closure time, so that it won't get confidence. Okay, uh, it won't get confidence, and testing team also having very less time window. Okay, because everything you are getting in the last minutes, and you need to understand the system and you have to test. And finally deployment, that means your project is going into live. Okay, so you are not sure about the quality of the product. That's why this approach, most of the projects not following. The earlier beginning of software, all companies, they followed waterfall model only. But later onwards, the companies are following V model or Agile model. That too, Agile model only 90% of the companies follow. Very rarely 5 to 10% companies following V model. Okay, so can anybody, if anybody will ask, do you know about waterfall model? Simply you need to tell it's a step-by-step approach. Until one phase is completed, next phase cannot be started, and it is suitable for small size projects only. It is not suitable for large scale projects. And whenever the project wants to develop in an incremental approach, this is not recommended approach, and there will be lot of communication gaps will be there. Okay, so waterfall model is not approachable, and whenever the client wants to change the requirements, this approach is not suitable at all. So like that, you need to come up the points. Understood? So that's it on the test model, test methodologies. Clear to everyone? Okay, so in this one, mandatorily you need to go through this part only, and remaining things for your knowledge I'm telling. Okay, testing techniques. Okay, I will give you, so before going into the testing techniques, okay, let me list out what are those. Okay, before listing out, let me ask a question. there is a requirement has been given in your functional requirement. Okay, the software has been developed. Okay, and so like so there is a voting. So you are going to some e-commission office and you are asking for the voting. Okay, they are checking your age is between above greater than or equal to 18, and they are keeping up to something as per the system criteria. They kept it like this. They kept it like this as per the system criteria. They kept it like this. So you have to get a voter ID, voter card. You need to get it. So that is the software you are testing. So in this case, what are the test cases that we can derive? Can you please tell me some test cases? So testing techniques. Testing techniques means you have to derive as much as possible combination of test cases. And that is the requirement has been given in your acceptance criteria. Sir, this is the only line they have given me, and you have to write the client has given only one line. And what are the combination of test cases that you can write? The client is asking. So we can list out what are the test cases that we can write on the system. Can you please tell me? So tell me randomly anything.
18 minus
age
1.
Age
Below 18.
above 18 are allowed to voting. So this is the test case. We can test it. And what else I can test it?
Below 150 aged or allowed for voting.
Less than 18
are not allowed for voting.
Age less than
18
should
are
not
not
allow
allowed.
for voting. So
Not
you need
allowed.
to articulate the lines of code like this only. While giving test scenario walkthrough session, should not allowed for voting. So you should clearly articulate those points. Okay, this is the test scenarios only you have to give. Yeah, what else I can do? This is the thinking process. Understood?
18 years.
Age less than 18 should not allow for voting. So if it is allowing, that is a defect, right? If it is age above 18, they should get the voter ID card. What else I can
If
test?
If the age is 18, then they will allow for voting.
More than age?
Equal to 18.
More than 150? Should not allow for voting. Yeah, I have written. Still I am asking. Any more combination?
Age above or equal to 18.
మీరు ఎవరు చెప్పట్లా. మీరు కూడా చెప్పండి. మీకు ఐడియాస్ రావట్లేదా?
Age above
Online
or
people
equal.
also.
Age are above or equal to 18.
నేను ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చిన రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఇదే. This is my requirement.
Age,
and what are the combination of test cases that you can derive? That's what my question.
Sir, age equal to 18.
Age
equal to 18.
Age 18 is
age
also
18.
allowed.
Is also allowed for voting.
For voting. Okay. Still.
Age is 150 is allowed for voting.
That we covered ever. So the client will ask, so is these 4 test cases are enough to prove my system is correctly working fine or not? So are you confident? The client will ask you. If these 4 are working fine, there is no issue, right? They will ask you. So then how can you say confidently, yeah, these are the combination is enough? You need to tell. How you tell confidently? I'm asking test more combination of test cases. So far you identified only 4 only. Age less than
male
Less than
Able
No, no.
people.
150.
Age less than,
so
so is allowing or not? Okay.
there is no gender difference.
Age 150. Age 150 should are allowed. He is allowed for voting. Anything else? Understood the points? So like that, they will give you one bullet point, and they will ask you to write more number of test scenarios. So your test is asking, can you please write some test cases? And they will go through your test scenarios and test combinations. Okay. Can I go and write test cases, 150 test cases? Age when it is 1, age when it is 2, age when it is 3, age when it is 5, age when it is 10. So can I, so that testing will give confidence to me or not? Is it an optimized way to test my application? Understood? So the optimized way. So how many combinations you have written, that is not important. In an optimized way, with a less number of test cases, you have to test the functionality. Okay. So whenever developer is giving these combinations, okay, we will follow some testing techniques that is called boundary value analysis. Boundary value analysis. What is boundary value analysis? Means min, max, min plus 1, min minus 1, max plus 1, comma max minus 1. These 6 combinations, we can call it as a boundary value analysis. So in the given requirement, what is minimum?
18.
Maximum means
150.
Min minus 1 means
17.
17. Min plus 1
One
means
second. 19.
1 second. Okay, min plus 1 means
19.
min plus 1, 19. And max plus 1 means 151.
151.
Max minus 1 means
149.
So if you will test these 6 combinations, okay, it will give the confidence. Correct or not? Because generally developer will keep the questions, will write the questions like this. So for this requirement, so he has to suppose to write condition like this. If min greater than or equal to 18 and less than or equal to 150, allowed for voting. So he has to write condition like this. In all the else, okay, not allowed for coding. Not allowed for voting. So for this requirement, we have tested all these 6 combinations. Because why we are testing all these 6 combinations? If developer will miss is equal to, it will ensure at this breakpoint, it can ensure. Minimum means it, if I'm testing this one, it should, so minimum means it has to be pass. It has to be allowed. Okay. Even this one also, it has to be allowed. It has to be fail. So system should not allow. So that is what should not allow. Okay, 19. It should allow, right? Because if I'm not give, sometimes at the boundary conditions only developer will do mistakes. Should allow. So 19 is the case, it is allowing or not. So should not allow. So It should allow. So all these 6 combinations will ensure that gives complete confidence on the build. Understood? So this technique, we can call it as a boundary value analysis. Okay, testing techniques,
Sir, I
how you
have
need to
one
derive
doubt.
the test cases. Understood? Okay. Now let's go to the second point.
Sir, I have one doubt on this set. Boundary value analysis.
Equivalence partitioning technique. Okay. So what is this technique? I will tell you. So for this is the requirement, we followed boundary value analysis and we have written all these 6 combination of test cases, and we are ensuring that we are covering all the functional test cases. So in boundary value analysis, so we understood all the boundary condition has been perfectly verified and we have tested all the test cases. Okay. But what is mean by equivalence class partitioning means identifying the valid and invalid partitions. Identifying the valid and invalid partitions for a given requirement. Okay, now let's come to this point. 1 second. Oh, we're running very late. Okay. So equivalence class partitioning. So identifying the valid and invalid partitions for a given requirement. So in this case, what are the valid partitions means? Okay. 18 to 150 is valid partition. As per the requirement, this is valid partition. Okay. And less than or equal to 17. Less than or equal to 17 is an invalid partition. Correct now? Less than. Invalid partition.
Yes.
And third one, greater than 150.